Hey, I'm Max, and I've been living in Singapore for almost 3 years, and I just love it so much, just until the new lockdown. Alright, it's not too bad. In this video you will learn things you should consider before moving to Singapore for work, business or freelance, or just before traveling here. When it's finally allowed. Also, you will know what to expect from Singapore in terms of food, attractions and lifestyle, and which stereotypes about the country are accurate and the ones which are just wrong. There are many videos on YouTube about the pros and cons of living in Singapore. In this video I'll also try to cover things that no one talks about on YouTube. Alright, let's start with pros. Okay, this is one of the most famous one. It's so safe here, yeah, literally, but not because you are being watched 24/7 by the government. Or actually it doesn't matter. Your smartphone knows about you more than the Singapore government, your mama or yourself. What matters is the result. You are incredibly safe in Singapore. At the same time, you don't feel like you are constantly under someone's supervision or that you are restricted to do something wrong and then be punished straight away. A big stereotype about Singapore is that you get fined literally for everything. Like, oh my god, chewing gum is prohibited. So crazy. Or you smoke a cigarette in the wrong place and you are caught like immediately and you go to jail. First of all, yeah man, just don't smoke in front of a school, right? And secondly, it's actually not so strict as it seems. There is gray zone, of course. In 2014 we spent around 5 months in Singapore because my wife did an MBA here. And before coming we read a couple of these articles about Singapore and how strict it is. I remember one of our first days, it's 10 p.m, no cars on the street. We are in our local neighborhood standing in front of a small one-lane each direction road and thinking like, can we really cross it? Or we have to go find the nearest traffic light. And if we cross it here, we'll probably get deported from the country within the next 2 hours, right? This is actually not the case. After some time living here, we realized that the police state reputation of Singapore is much worse than the reality. Yes, people cross the roads here on a red light, smoke in prohibited places, and even, oh my god, sometimes throw litter on the ground. How about that? But what I really don't understand is when people are watching this video without pressing the like button. I think this is just the most significant violation and should be punished. So, press it now. Alright, number 2. Things get done here. Yes, the service might be not ideal. We will talk about it later, and people sometimes late for appointments and stuff, but at the end of the day, things are just getting done. Home broadband, fixing minor repairs at home, ID paperwork, driver's license, stuff delivery, everything works nice and fast. No bureaucracy, just a straightforward business approach. I remember living in Luxembourg for a couple of months a few years ago, and I was trying to set up the internet at home. It was a nightmare. Lead times was so long, paperwork was terrible. I ended up buying some kind of remote mobile device for the internet. Alright, number 3. Sometimes I meet people who say like, oh, I miss theaters like in London, cultural life in Singapore is so boring. I would disagree with this statement. Before the pandemic there were various activities like ballet, concerts, musicals. Big stars used to come from abroad because it's an excellent filled with money market for performers. World famous artists, actors, musicians come to Singapore, and especially I like the trend, as when we were here in 2014 the variety was much smaller. In terms of food, there are so many options, from $3 lunch at hawker center to $1,000 dinner at the high cuisine restaurant. So diversity of things to do here is so huge. Same as the variety of content on this channel, so don't forget to subscribe not to miss it. Deal? Alright, number 4, social life. Okay, that's my favorite one. Before we lived in Dublin, Ireland, and our social life was definitely less active. It's nothing wrong with lovely Dublin. It's just Singapore has all the infrastructure for having a good social life. Let's start with domestic helper. Almost all our friends have it. How it works? She stays with you and helps with kids, cleaning and cooking. We have 4-year-old daughter and it's so much easier, for example, making last-minute plans and going out with friends on Thursday night. We just ask our helper to put Lisa to bed and that's it. It's probably too snobbish for me to say, but there are so many fantastic, active, purpose-driven people here. And I just love how international the community is in Singapore. We have friends from France, UK, Russia, India, US, Canada, Argentina, Korea, Singapore itself, and many other countries. The last point is that it's so easy to get quickly to any place in Singapore. No traffic, taxi is cheap, public transport is good. So you just do not think about logistics anymore. Just don't buy a car, okay? Alright, number 5. It feels like home here. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. Maybe because it's so multinational, or because it's the English language, or because local people are friendly and they get used to different nationalities, or because Changi airport is so effective. It takes you 10 minutes from entering a building to passing through the gate. Everything is just so easy. And again, it feels like home. But there are some cons as well. Alright, my list is the following. Service. Though service in museums, galleries, exhibitions are generally nice and friendly, there is something off about service in cafes and restaurants. It's not rude, it's just too transactional. No smile, no hi bye, this kind of thing. Sometimes you feel like they don't need your money. So it's not bad, it's just average compared to Dublin, London, Moscow, or even some Southeast Asian neighbors. Number 2 is culture of reporting. This one is tricky. I think it's also the result why things work here just so well. And for me, it's not like a big deal, and I understand that it's a good thing on many occasions. It's just sometimes a bit annoying when people from a condo where you live would report to condo management that someone is not wearing a mask or so. It's just, you know, these minor things. But to be fair, I noticed this reporting thing only when the pandemic started and some people became just really anxious. And of course, I understand why. Okay, number 3 is road behavior. Sometimes it feels like local taxi drivers are trying to be in time for their kid's birthday party starting in 10 minutes, but they are 20 minutes away from the place. There is also a Singaporean thing of acceleration and stopping all the time. It's a bit difficult to get used to. And as a road bike rider, I often feel unsafe when a bus or truck is overtaking me close as possible. I don't know, maybe this is some kind of a game. Get a cyclist really scared when overtaking? Who knows? But to be fair, the roads in general are very safe because of how it's organized. Overall, I just love Singapore. I think it's a wonderful country, and it's just an unbelievable achievement of Lee Kuan Yew and his team. To me, this place has 95% pros and just 5% cons. That's why we have chosen it after living in different locations worldwide.